are my predictions for UFC 161. First, to announce that the Fighter of the Card award winner for UFC on Fuel 10 was Eric Silva. I had to say that it was quite a difficult one to call, because there were quite a lot of exciting fights, a lot of stoppages, not many decisions. My main reason for choosing Eric Silva over any of the others was two reasons. I actually thought that he was a better performer than a lot of the others, even though perhaps he only spent a minute fraction of time. The other thing was, in terms of Fabricio Verdum winning, people have said that Big Nog isn't quite what he, used to be. And, this being a rematch, they're only one apiece. I maybe had it happened earlier, then I would have chosen, the winner of that match. But now seems to be a little bit too late. And in the grand scheme of things, I think I'll just wait to see what happens there before I, So that's why I went for Eric Silva. Now, the main event of 161 for me is not so easy to call. There are reasons why I don't like Dan Henderson. I used to, and there are reasons why I don't now, which have been sort of spoken to death about, I suppose, in earlier sort of predictions and recap videos. Rashad Evans is another one that I, just haven't really enjoyed at all. The truth is that they both crack, or they both can crack, to really high calibers, and that literally is the only place that you'll find them cracking. Do you know, I know I went for Big Nog last time on the experience versus the, up-and-comer, and it didn't work out. But I'm still going to go for it this time. I'm going to go for Dan Henderson winning. I should put it as a decision, and, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't the most exciting fight in the world. The unfortunate thing about Dustin Paige is it's arguable that he's not really of the UFC calibre, and that's not being mean, that's simply that he seems to lose to almost everybody that he's fought at UFC level. 3 losses, 1 win, and 2 of those losses are in a row. His record 11-7, and he's fighting Yves Jaboin 18-8. This is striker in Yves versus Dustin Paige, who is the submission artist. I just don't feel that he's going to be able to utilise his submissions against Yves Edwards, and he tends to lose a lot by decision. Yes, Yves Jaboin even. Jaboin does lose by submission, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to give this one to Yves Jaboin, and I shall go for a unanimous decision. I would love to be proved wrong on this one, though. Despite a record of 9-2, Mitch Clark is actually on thin ice. Both of those two are his last 2 fights, and they're his 2 appearances in the UFC. John Maguire is also coming off 2 losses in a row, 18-5 his record. His 2 losses, one is to quite a high calibre person, but they're decisions, that's the problem. Don't let it go to decision, otherwise he seems to lose. I do think, though, that Mitch Clark is somebody that John Maguire can probably finish. This is going to be a submission fest, it's where their skills both lie, but I am going to give it to John Maguire. I shall go for a choke submission in the 3rd. Edwin Figueroa, 9-2, is fighting Roland Delorme, who is 8-1. I think his most recent thing has been overturned to a no contest. And this is striker with Figueroa versus submission specialist. And I think here, personally, that Roland Delorme will win. I just feel that, Figueroa could be considered struggling a tiny bit. And he's only facing medium calibers there. Yes, I'm going to go for Roland Delorme, and I shall put a bar submission in the first. Sean Pearson is sort of bouncing back. His record is 13-6, and he started with Matt Riddle, but then he started fighting higher calibers, didn't do so well, and so he's sort of working his way back up. I think they're giving him Kenny Robertson 12-2 because they expect him to win, probably by decision like he's done ever since his 2-loss streak. I think that's a mistake, personally, because I think that Kenny Robertson on the ground might overwhelm Sean here, even though he's, got a background in both striking and submissions. I think I'm going to go for a Kenny Robertson win. I might give Sean the benefit of the doubt, though, and say I'll go for a Kenny Robertson decision victory. Sam Stout is a sort of journeyman in the making. He's fought a lot of high calibers in his time, known as a stand-up striker, but wins just as much by decision, in fact, and if he loses, he tends to lose by decision as well. Doesn't bode well for him, I don't think, fighting James Krause, because one of James Krause's skills is submissions, 12 out of his 19. Do I think that he's going to submit Sam Stout? No, I don't, and I'm beginning to go blurry and I have no idea why. You'll have to excuse me. I think what will happen is that this could well be fight of the night, but it's going to end in decision, and I don't think that will go in Sam Stout's favour, actually. In my opinion, this is going to go one of two ways. This is Tyrone Woodley, 11-1, versus Jake Shields, 27-6. It's either going to be a TKO by Tyrone Woodley, if he is that good, and we don't know that he's that good because his one loss was to Nathan Marquardt. He's only fought in the UFC once, and that was Jay Heron. This might be viewed a little bit in terms of the management as a squash match. I think they're hoping Tyrone Woodley loses here. But Jake Shields has been TKO'd in the past. It is possible. The safe bet here is to go with Jake Shields, but this might be bum decision, bum prediction even of the card. I don't know. I'm going to go for Tyrone Woodley and say actually perhaps he will get a TKO. It doesn't always end well for Patrick Barry when he's put up against another striker. However, he is back to his winning ways, and being a striker himself, I have to have faith that he will be able to counter whoever his opponent is. I've forgotten. Oh yes, Sean Jordan. Although Sean Jordan might have a better record, I'm still going to go for TKO by Patrick Barry. In the match between Igor Pokrajic and Ryan Jimmo, I actually think that Ryan will win this one. I can't really legitimise that. People might think that Igor is more likely to, but based on what I've seen of Ryan Jimmo, rather than his record or anything like that, I think that he will win this one. Has to be said that I don't like Roy Nelson at all, but he is becoming unavoidable and unignorable in his ability to sort of fight others and win on the feet, even if they happen to be TKO specialists, just like Stipe is. So I hate to say it, but I think Roy Nelson will probably win this one as well.